the worst possible outcome or scenario
has been realised.
Yeah. When we first bought these trees, they were purchased from the local market. We knew exactly what we were buying, and by the time we got home, it all went out the window because we were just left with some sticks. What we should have done is labelled them as we bought them. So what I'm going to do now is, now they're established a little bit more, I'm going to go around with the beauty of technology and just use my phone and ID each of the trees. I've done a nice little drawing on a piece of paper, and hopefully we're going to find out what each fruit tree is, and then we can make some nice little markers so we can watch them grow. You are a sour cherry, an early harvest apple tree, another sour cherry. Are we a cherry? We are, we're a wild cherry. An apricot. It's another apricot. Yes, you are an apple tree. Peach. You are a peach. You're a pear. Contestant number 4, what are you? A Sicilian sumac. Welcome to my garden. Hello. What are you? Oh, it's a wild cherry. This one's an apricot. You're an apple tree. The final one. You're an apple tree. Phil's just having a tree identifying crisis at the moment. He's misidentified some trees. That's why you need one of these apps. They're brilliant. Anyway, this is a map of our trees.
I don't want it anymore.
And a few that we've...
It's a stupid tree.
It's not a stupid tree. It's a Sicilian sumac.
How's that not an ash? Streamed the dog poo earlier. It's one of the most demoralising, dehumanising things in the world.
Okay,
It's
anyway,
horrendous.
back to my map of trees.
I'm still depressed about it. It happened about 2 hours ago.
God. Yeah, don't we know it?
Sicilian sumac. It's an ash tree.
It's not though, is it?
I feel like really stupid now. Granted, I was too young for college when we went to arboriculture college. I was too young. I didn't pay any attention. I wasn't interested. Now I should have paid attention.
Zoom in on the disappointment look on the disappointing look on your mother's face in the background as you mutter these words.
Mum did all my coursework for me. That's why she loves it. And she's in, look. She can't get enough of it. She's been out for 3 hours, hasn't stopped once.
She's amazing. Okay, so anyway, this is my map.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane, and as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other.
So I just want to address a few questions that have come up in the comments on our last video with regard to this barn project. One of them was, why are we knocking it down? Why do we have to destroy everything? Well, we are not here to destroy everything. We actually would much rather keep everything that we can, but what we do keep needs to be a sound investment for us. It needs to be time and money well spent. What we don't want to do is put the time and effort into just putting a new roof on here or patching up the current roof, and then in 2 years' time it's rotten through and it's fallen in, or the front wall, the foundations have gone, and then we've got time and money into a project that looked like it was nearly done, and now we've got to rebuild the front wall. So this front wall has pretty much zero foundation, whereas all of the walls, the two sides and the back, have got stone up to a point. The front wall had no stone. It's basically one or two little pieces, and the mud bricks were on the floor. And what that meant is, when the water had run off the roof, the water splashing back up had actually washed the mud bricks away, and there was about 4 points on here where you could put your hand right through the wall. And I'm talking like the stuff that wasn't was like 100 mil, 4 inches of mud brick left in the bottom, and that's why the wall was wobbling and we could push it over with our hands. Somebody else asked, why did I not use the digger to push the wall down? And to be honest with you, I did want to use the digger, but I was concerned that if I pushed with the bucket and the bucket punched through, that if the wall fell back this way, it would land on top of the digger, and the last thing I want to do is bend, break or damage my machine. And the wall was so wobbly that it really wasn't much work at all to push it down by hand, as you guys saw. So it just wasn't worth the risk to me for the machine. And of course the roof, the digger doesn't reach up that high. It would have been no use for that. And again, diggers are meant really for digging and moving stuff around, not destruction, at least not a digger my size anyway. A few of you also mentioned about burning the wood and that we should have been able to use that for something else. And I agree, on camera it looked like we burnt all the timber. That is not the case. So we have the really big timbers here, which were the ones that went right across the barn. And then the rafters, the stuff that wasn't completely rotten, is here. And our plan is, some of this is pretty poor, which means we'll cut it up for firewood to go into the wood burner. And other bits are really strong. There's some really good strong timber in here. And so some of that we will keep in storage and we can use it for other projects around on the land. It will be rough and ready. None of the timber is in like good condition, if you like. It's full of woodworm and stuff, but a lot of it is still quite strong. So it would easily build like a Wendy house or a shed for the kids or a tree house for Alex. It's perfect timber for stuff like that. The stuff that we did burn was these. So this was the timber that I was starting to save for the wood burner, but these are basically just wooden slats that went right across the rafters, and then they put like a mud slurry on top of this and then bedded the tiles onto that. So these are wafer thin, as you can see, full of woodworm, just rubbish timber, to be honest with you. Like, it really is rubbish. So this is what we burnt. I was going to keep a load of this to put in the wood burner, but the truth is it takes 5 times the time to process this small enough to go into the wood burner, and then it burns in about 3 seconds flat. So it just wasn't worth it. So we did a bonfire for these bits, but we kept all the other timber from the roof, and there's other stuff in the boundary barn there as well. So yeah, this stuff will be being reused, and I agree with you, it did look like we burnt everything, but we didn't.
is a tall one, but what we're going to do is we're going to cut it down a bit. Now, because this one has been in the pot for a long time, I'm just going to tease out some of the roots like this.
So the other day we went to the nursery and we picked up a few plants. We are a little bit tight on the budget this month, so we didn't go too crazy, much to Mother's disappointment because she would love to have spent several £100 in there. But anyway, we bought 2 of these, which are
A Cuba japonica.
a Cuba japonica.
Yes, I think so.
2 of these.
This one is an oleander.
Oleander, in case you can't hear what Mum's saying. We got 2, I know these ones, these are bay. And we're going to try and take some cuttings from these bay as well to enable us to grow several of them, because we think about trying to do some hedging with these because they're evergreen. And then this one, Mum, come on, wow us with your tropical knowledge.
I don't know that one.
Oh.
Thuja occidentalis, there we go.
Through
Thuja occidentalis.
what she said, it's that.
I hope you cut some of that out.
So we're just potting these up because obviously they've come in quite small pots, and these were very, very root bound. So we're getting them.
It's a soak.
Yeah, we're giving them a soak, and we're going to get them into some bigger pots. Basically, we want to just start growing plants little and often, so we can build up a stock of plants that are ready to go in when landscaping is needed, because we're going to work on each area at a time. And if we do this, it means that we can spread the cost, but also we can get some of these plants quite well established in our soil before, like this was, what was this, 20 lev?
Yes.
It's about 20 lev for this plant, but an adult version of this was 450 lev. So if we can buy them like this and grow them over time, we're going to save a lot of money, and it's quite fun to watch happen too. And the dog's having them out 5 minutes. So we're going to pot these up.
Right, let's start. Spread the roots out to base the plant. Right, and you don't want to fill them up to the top because you need a reservoir to water them. Ideally, they should be planted in the same level as they came in the pot. There we go, that looks good. I've leaving those out now. Fitting nicely in the pot, yeah?
Yeah. So level of the soil would be where the pot was originally, and depth-wise is about right. Fine to me.
This is a rose for the impatient gardener, I think.
That's me. So the plan is I'm going to get the digger in here, I'm going to dig an inspection trench in here, right down on the side of the wall, and I can test then how far down, if any, the footings go. So we don't know what there is in the way of footings or large stone or anything that is in here. We are surprisingly close to bedrock on our land, and I don't know, maybe they've gone down to bedrock here. We started to hit bedrock when we did the pool excavations, so it's not crazy deep, but I'd be surprised if it goes that far. So we'll dig a trench along here, we'll get a good inspection in there, and then we'll have a good idea of what we're dealing with.
So basically, the worst possible outcome or scenario
has been realised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know where we go from here.
Okay, so as you guys know, we did a test dig. The test dig has revealed 0. There is absolutely no foundation here whatsoever, like nothing. The stones at ground level are just on the ground. There is not anything below ground level at all.
So the ground here is often very, very solid, as you've seen in some of our previous videos, and there are large amounts of stone, which means that the ground is pretty solid.
Yep.
But that doesn't replace the need for a foundation.
No. So the real issue that we have here is we are going to sink a load of time and money into this barn project to make it right. Because when we do stuff, we like to do it once and we do it properly. And revealing this means that for us, it is no longer viable to try and use this structure. And that is, firstly, very sad because we really wanted to use this. We actually liked the idea of working with
It's
this.
heartbreaking because we've always wanted to rebuild, renovate a barn, and we don't want to come in and just knock everything down. But the nature of this barn, it isn't like your typical, say, Portugal barn, where it's solid stone all the way round.
Yeah.
In this particular barn, we've got stone only maybe a maximum of 1 metre high, and then it's mud brick.
Yeah,
And
so
that was only on 3 walls.
Yeah, so there's stone up to about here all the way round. The rest of it's mud brick. And whilst it looks fairly usable here, on the outside, the mud brick is really bad condition. And to the point where we were even debating that, like, is it worth it? Even if everything else was good, do we carry on with the mud brick? Because it is so far gone that we're going to have to do quite a lot of work.
Mud
to
brick
make that
is an
work.
amazing building material, but you've got to maintain it. It is only as good as the maintenance.
Yeah.
And that's where this barn has had its downfall.
Yeah, I mean, the whole land, every building on this land that's built with mud brick is in a state of deterioration because it hasn't been maintained. And it does need regular, like, rendering and then lime washing and stuff like that to keep the weather off. And it's, the back of this barn is in a bad way. And now with no footings, we've just got to a point where we're like, actually, we would now be basically doing it on a very temporary basis. And I would fully expect that if we use this here, what we've got is that we would end up getting cracks like this in the actual building once it's done and dusted, and the whole thing's going to be moving, and we just don't want that. Do kitchen backsplash or something like that, and then it all start cracking and everything's moving. And
We're not here for quick fixes.
no,
We do like doing things properly, and we've said this before, but for us, the building and this journey, this period now is actually, although stressful for us and deeply upsetting right now, this is what we're after.
we want to do it as eco as we can within reason, and we do want to try and reuse the structure as much as we can, but we also have to be sensible here. We have to be logical with it, and that means that if this freestanding building isn't up to scratch, if it isn't worth working on, which this turns out isn't, then we have to call it a day, because otherwise it will be a lot of time and a lot of money invested into a building that we might have to revisit again in the future, and that is not something we want to be doing, is going back over.
I think the other thing also to point out is that the reason why we were moving on to this barn as the next project was because of winter coming, but also because we're very aware that we have 2 young children. We have got a 7-year-old boy who has been so adaptable and has lived in so many different scenarios, from a tiny bunk in a van for the majority of his life to then coming here. And he's getting to the age where he would love his own space, his own bedroom, and we want to work towards that.
Yeah, I think he deserves that too. He's been so good.
Absolutely, and we were hoping that what we would be able to do is have this as an extension of our living area. We've done like a floor plan and everything of what we want to do here, but it would mean that Alex would have, or be a big step closer to having his own space.
Yeah.
Which is really important. So if it was just Phil and I here, we would be probably a little bit more flexible. The time wouldn't be such an issue, but we feel very responsible to our children. We came here for a better life, and yeah, we're aware of the need of space.
Yeah, definitely. Like the caravan, and it does work for us. The caravan and the decking is amazing. Like it does work for us really well. It's going to be rough through the winter a bit, but we are going to improve that as much as we can. We need a better living space. That caravan is not a permanent fix by any stretch. So the barn was the next logical step. It also was a building that we knew that we could financially afford to do from start to finish. From paycheck to paycheck, it's going to be affordable for us. Whereas the house, you're talking such a vast quantity of materials and stuff. We need a bit more money behind us before we can do that.
And until we got the roof off, until we got that front wall down, until we were able to dig down and check to see if there were foundations, we had no idea whether this was going to be a this kind of project or a this kind of project.
Yeah.
Although we were really hopeful, we kind of knew this was going to happen.
Nothing ever goes to plan for us, as you all know. I feel like our thumbnails and our titles, almost every video just says, this didn't go to plan, or this changes the plan, or the plans change here, or something. So, but as you know, we always try and bring you the honest reality of what we're doing here. We're not sugarcoating anything. What you see is what you get. And that sadly means that this project, as of this moment, is yet again being put on pause.
For another priority shuffle.
Now, there's no way that we're going to get this done for this winter. So the best plan, the best use of our time now is to spend it trying to make the caravan and the decking livable for winter.
There's going to be people out there right now who are going, yeah, but there are other options. You can do other things without a foundation. So you could still salvage the brick, the stone wall. Can you explain why we haven't?
I would debate underpinning this.
There we are, that's the word.
And shoring this up with proper footings, doing a retro foundation on it, like a retrofit foundation, underpinning and shoring up like that, if the walls were really worth keeping. So if this was a granite barn from bottom to top, if you guys watch indie projects like they had, these walls would be worth keeping for sure. And we most definitely would be trying to retrofit underpinning foundations and shoring up on the outside of the structure to make sure that it wasn't going to go anywhere and we could tie it into the ground. But because of the condition of these walls, because it is a long, long way from ideal, it's just not worth it. And probably more expense to do that than it would be if we just bulldoze this whole lot, start at ground zero and go again. That's the truth of the matter. Does that explain it?
Yeah.
You're right there picking up your little rock collection.
The quartz here is just stunning. I'm just collecting pieces.
She just loves quartz,
It's so
collecting
beautiful.
stones. Anyway.
Right, you're one to talk, collecting stones.
Mine stones are usable. What are you going to do with those?
Is that absolutely
What's that, gravel for the
beautiful?
driveway?
What, the driveway that's still not finished?
Here we go. The priority shuffle. Anyway, I hope that clears up some of it. We just wanted to explain to you guys the in-depth thought process that's going on at the minute. We will look into our options for this, but the reality is that the whole lot's going now. We will reuse the stone. If the stone is in pretty good condition, it will be going down towards the wall down here. I think we might try and continue with that. Well, I know that's not the barn video any of us were really hoping for. And I want to stress that this project has not stopped. It will continue. We have to balance our priorities, and right now that is preparing for winter that is right around the corner. We're already getting frosty mornings, and I just get this feeling it's going to be a really bad one. So we have to prioritise that first. But this will still be ongoing. It just won't be the series that we were all hoping for. We're still super excited about it. This means we've got a blank slate to work with, which means we can do things our own way, which is very, very exciting. And we will be getting on with it as soon as possible. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you stayed awake till this part, congratulations. Thank you very much for sticking with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.
So no, that doesn't make sense.
I don't think it knows where it's doing anymore.
Am I in the shot?
Yeah, it's perfectly.
That'd be an outtake from mum, won't it? Am I in the shot? Bloody dogs. Just do as I'm told.
Yep.
What do you mean, yes?
Yeah, because it's like magnetic. You can just put it anywhere.
Bless my soul, what's wrong with me? Looking like a man on a fuzzy tree.
Okay.
No?
Let's focus.
Not what you were after?
No, not quite.
Thuja occidentalis. Thuja occidentalis. There we go.
Serious news.
Yeah. Serious news, Moneypenny. Very serious news.
Such an idiot.